All right, AP Chem, I hope you're doing well, and I want to touch base with you the first week of distance learning and kind of go over a couple things that are happening with the AP exam and what to expect for this class. I'm going to cover exactly what changes we know about on the AP exam, what we're going to be doing the next couple weeks before the AP exam, and what resources are available for you to review. There's some extra resources posted on AP Classroom daily. The AP exam, you probably read this on the links that I posted on Classroom, but there will be no face-to-face exams this year. They're all going to be replaced with a 45-minute long exam, which for you guys, that changes a 3-hour test to a 45-minute long test, and some of you are probably pretty happy about that. There will only be free response questions on the exam, at least that's what they've said so far, and colleges are still going to accept this lenient exam. That means that you will get college credit for the chemistry course if you pass that exam for the particular college you go to, and they will expect you, the little catch here, they still expect you to know all the material for the AP course. That means they will not cover material on the exam that the college will expect you to have if you go on to a second-year chemistry course. And we'll try to address that after we take the AP test this year. We just had one unit left. We're a little bit ahead of what they expected for you guys, so we're in good shape for that, and I'll show you that here in a second. The exam, they say you'll be able to take it on a phone or tablet, as well as a computer. There isn't a lot of information on what that'll look like yet, but they're working on it, and students will have the option to upload handwritten work. Because it says the option, it makes me wonder if a lot of their questions will be free response that you could type into a form on their AP Classroom website, but I don't know what that'll look like for sure yet. If you don't have internet access, you can contact AP and they will work through a way to get you internet access and be able to take that exam. So contact them if you need that. For our particular exam, here's the specifics for chemistry. There are 9 units in the chemistry course curriculum. The first 7 units they expect you to have covered by March, and we're through the first 7 units. The last 2 units, Unit 8 and 9, we were actually done with Unit 8, acids and bases, with titrations, weak acids, buffer solutions, and things like that. The only thing that we haven't covered is Unit 9. And Unit 9 will not be on the exam, and neither will Unit 8, which means we've pretty much covered everything that you need to know for the AP exam so far. And we will focus a lot of our remaining time on reviewing for that. The exam dates, they've added an extra exam, so there's going to be 2 dates available. I believe the first date will be the same time that it originally was, but these will be released by the end of this week, Friday, April 3rd, and you'll get to see what are the options for exams and how can I sign up for the later exam or the earlier exam, and I'm not sure what that'll look like yet. Either, but they have released information that students will be able to not take the exam this year and get a refund if they decide that they were not prepared due to coronavirus. And that information has not been fully released yet either. So we're still waiting on some information for the exam here. But here's what the units look like. So we've covered all the first 8 units all the way down to acids and bases. Normally this is a large portion of your exam, but this won't be on the exam this year. For some of you, that's a good thing. And the applications of thermodynamics, we were partway through this unit here. Electrochemistry falls in here. That's our last unit that we won't cover before the test. So this won't be on the AP test this year. But I want to give you a little disclaimer. Some of you might say, well, I don't need to know anything about acids and bases then, because the acids and base unit that appears on their course curriculum here will not be on the exam. Well, this unit only covers the weak acids and weak bases with buffer solutions and things like that. So if you look in Unit 4, this is going to be on the exam. There are titrations in Unit 4, so you still have to know how to do titrations. Acids and base definitions appear in the chemical reactions unit, so that requires you to identify which compound donates, which compound accepts a proton. That's the Bronsted-Lowry definition of acids and bases. You should be able to recognize conjugate acid-base pairs from Unit 4 still. And Unit 4 actually has qualitative comparisons of strengths of acids and bases. So that would look like looking at an equilibrium position or how much does acid dissociate, the percent ionization. So all of these things we covered in depth in our Unit 8, and they actually could be appearing on your AP exam. So that's a good thing. Don't just write off your acids and bases. That material, you might see some of that stuff on the test. What you won't see is weak acid, weak base problems, titrations of weak acids and weak bases and things like that. In the equilibrium unit, in Unit 7, there also is one learning outcome that requires you to know something about Gibbs free energy. And Gibbs free energy, if you go back to the unit breakdown here, the majority of Gibbs free energy appears in this unit, but there is one topic of Gibbs free energy that appears in your equilibrium unit, which means you should know what Gibbs free energy is and be able to apply it. And we're going to wrap up our unit by ending on the last little bit of information for Gibbs free energy that I think you might be asked questions on for the AP test, and that's what we'll do to finish the unit that we're in right now with thermodynamics. Topics we haven't covered yet. We haven't spent a lot of time on this. I'll do a little lesson on separation techniques like chromatography and show you types of questions that might appear on the exam for these guys. It's kind of a special topic and it's pretty easy. Other than that, we've covered everything. So the plan for this class is we're going to truncate our current unit. We're going to shorten it. And we're not going to do the very end of equilibrium as it relates to thermodynamics and Gibbs free energy, which is actually a large part of that unit. So we're going to cut off the end of the unit that we're in right now, and we will test on this unit. So next week we'll have a little test or quiz on our thermodynamics unit and Gibbs free energy. We'll cover separation techniques, and then the rest of the time in the class we're going to spend reviewing for the AP test and getting you guys prepared for that. Every week you'll have a task document that gets posted on Classroom. This is your one for this week. You will find 2 links that are kind of important here and might be worthwhile for you to look at. The most up-to-date AP exam information, that's the stuff that I just went through, is here, and that's where you'll find when they post what exam dates are available. And then your AP reviews, I'll talk about that in a second, right here, that are being created every week for you guys to review from AP teachers across the U.S. But every week you'll have a list of tasks, and I'll give you the due date. You can find everything in this document that you need for the week. And then places to turn in work and things like that you'll find on Google Classroom. I'll post assignments for that. But this is your starting document for every week. That's where you want to start from. Review resources from me. I will continue to do the multiple choice reviews on Classroom. That gives you 1 point towards your final test before the AP test in this class, which will be a course grade in here. Why am I still doing multiple choice reviews? It's a great way to force you to go back and review concepts that you might not know. And not only does it force you to go back and look at them, when you have multiple options to choose from, especially options that are common misconceptions, it's a great way to find out if you actually understand the material. So we're going to continue to do those. It will help you with pre-response questions. We will do practice pre-response questions, and then I'll post other review materials as we get going here in the next couple weeks. Review resources from AP that are being posted every week. They're doing free live AP reviews that actually get recorded, and you can watch all the recordings at any point in time. Follow the link in this week's document. That's the one that I just pointed out to you for the AP Classroom. And you'll see that they already have 3 posted. I watched these 2, and I think this could be a great review for you guys. Those who want to retake the acid-base test, these first 3 are the acid-base concepts. At least covers many of those, and you could watch those. But you can see that they're starting. This is the next one that will be live today. And they're going to start at the very beginning of AP Chemistry, the first concepts, and work forward throughout the rest of the weeks leading up to AP exam. And these would be great resources for you to watch to review concepts that you didn't get a good grasp on or need to just review before the test. And that's it. If you have any questions for me, I will be available to answer any questions via email or via a video call, and I hope that you have a great week this week. If you need anything, feel free to contact me.